quite exciting when we reflect on things. It can be very challenging to hear and to look at the results and to look at what people have to say and to ask people what they thought and to figure out, why aren't clients coming back? Why aren't people doing what I asked them to do? What is the reflection on that? What can I change? What can I implement? What needs to be different? And what can I celebrate? Because I think we're really hard on ourselves and we do need to celebrate our wins.
Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, coaches, and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to the needs of you, the practicing natural therapist. We have interviews during the holiday season and business and mindset support each week, so you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in your practice. Don't forget to subscribe to receive the weekly episodes. And if you want to connect with me, always check the show notes, because that's where you'll find the links to book appointments and, of course, to join the Academy, the membership group, where there's constant connection and community with like-minded practitioners. Now, let's get started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. How the devil are you? So we are getting to the end of the year, and very soon, in a fortnight's time, we are going to have our guest, our seasonal guest, Annie Gibbons, who is the CEO of ATMS, and she's a mentor as well. She's a business mentor as well. So it's really cool having her coming in, and we're going to have I'm going to do a whole sessional section. So the whole summer will be with Annie, so we can really nut out a few things, which leads us to the fact that this is the end of the year for this group of podcasts. And next year, I will be back again. Don't you worry about that. But next year, I've got new content, fresh content ready to go. So what we need to do at the end of this year, of course, is to reflect and to refine. So I've created a business review worksheet, which is downloadable at what's my website? www.geraldineheadley.com. Just scroll down not very far and you will find the link to the podcast page where you can sign up and start downloading any of the other downloads as well as this one. So why do we need a worksheet? Well, I want you to have a worksheet so that you can really refine and reflect on, well, for me, it's Black Friday, but also on any project that you have completed. We need a project debrief, and this is your project debrief, because we're at the end of the year. It might have been a project you did months ago. It might have been a project you started and didn't complete. Why not? It might be a strategy, a business strategy. So whether you've launched big, you're new, you've run a small group, what is it? You've simply made space to try something new maybe. Every effort that you make, we have to have learning from, right? So with this worksheet, section 1, what worked for you? So specific actions or content that led to engagement, booking sales. What is it that worked for you? So I know that I need a combination of things happening. My podcast is the way I talk to you as a group of people. I have several Facebook groups. I have Strictly Practitioners and the Confident Practitioner community. Now, I used to go in the Confident Practitioner community every week, whether live, as well as being here on the podcast. And then lots happened for me over the last few years. My mum got sick, so I was regularly going to New Zealand. My mother died. Then at the beginning of 2025, I got really sick. So it just didn't happen. It hasn't come back. So what's going in there are the links to these podcasts, which at the end of the day are still my weekly chat. So what led to this change in the style that I do things is because of the change in my home life, right? So lots of things have happened. Lots of things have changed. I've taken a step back. My husband's retiring. All sorts of things have changed, but I need to know what worked in what I've done. So what worked in the Black Friday promotion? That's my most recent promotion. I need to have a look through, what was easy? What was enjoyable? Well, I've got to say, reusing content, but in the email, that was so easy. I love using Flowdesk. That's really enjoyable to use. So I have lots of fun when I play with that, whether I'm repeating, rinsing and repeating, or whether I'm creating brand new. And that's the other thing we need to look at. what is it that we would repeat in our next launch or our next promotion? What worked? What did people say? Oh, that caught my eye, or that was really good. I really enjoyed that part. And so we've got a bit of a space there for you to write your reflections about what really worked for you. What bit did people comment on? What did you notice? Okay. When you went and looked at your figures, because you can see the figures in the background of who interacted with a post, who didn't interact. You can't see who didn't interact with it, obviously. You can see who did interact with it, but how many people in your sphere it didn't go to. Why didn't it catch people's eye? And yet something that was exactly the same content, but maybe it was different colors, had a different heading, that caught people's eye. What was the difference? Why did that work in comparison to the other one? Now, what felt hard? What was really hard for you to do? What was it difficult to just get off the ground? For me, it was always emails until I moved to Flowdesk. It's not a free system, Flowdesk, but it's just beautiful. And I have an affiliate link on my podcast page because it's just so pretty. It's so beautiful. Anyway, what ifs. So no longer drains my energy, but I found what drained my energy. And that's what this question is. What felt hard? What drained your energy? And what didn't perform as you expected? Like you created 2 posts, you created one random one that you flicked off and another one you curated, spent ages on it. And the one you flicked off worked really well and the one you curated didn't, or vice versa. What was the difference between them? Maybe the one you curated, you spent so long looking at it that you actually put the apostrophe in the wrong place, so people didn't like it. It's really interesting how simple things like that really bug people. Few and less is my big one. So I was at my Pilates class and the physio was saying, oh yeah, you do less reps when you do that exercise. And I really wanted to turn around and just say, but mate, fewer. You do fewer reps. Fewer is countable. Less is is not countable. Money being the exception. There's a couple of exceptions to the rule. There always are in English, aren't there? But it's like little things like that. There might have been a spelling mistake. Perhaps you should have put it through Grammarly. Who knows? These are the things that can cause a problem because we overdo it. The one that flicked off worked. The one we spent hours on didn't. Why was that? What didn't perform as expected? And what feedback or resistance did you encounter? Oh, I can't afford that right now. Then is that them or is that you? Is that you putting your thoughts onto them? They never actually said those words that they couldn't afford it right now. You offered them that as an excuse when you were talking to them, perhaps. What was the resistance? Well, I can't do a Monday at 7 a.m. Just forget it. Oh, okay, maybe that was a really bad time to want to have a group online with 7 a.m. on a Monday morning. What was the resistance? And could that have been changed during promotion? Oh, yes, well, there's Monday at 7 a.m., but there's also Monday at 10 a.m. online. Oh, okay, I can do the 10 a.m. There we go. Hey, presto, you've just changed it whilst you were in the middle of it. Now, I've just talked about this, but this is a section for it, tracking engagement and behavior. So where did most bookings or purchases come from? So was it your email? Was it your socials? Was it your website? Now, the purchases, perhaps they go to the email, they click on the email link and it goes to your website and that's where they make the purchase. Purchase doesn't occur directly, perhaps through your email, but how did they find out about it? Was it a direct onto the website? What does the website show you in the analytics in the background? Where did they come from if you got Google Analytics connected? Did people click but not buy? What was the resistance there? Where did the drop-off happen? Most websites, most analytics will show you where the drop-off happened, where people stopped interacting with your resource. Okay. And did one email or post stand out in the performance over all of the others? I've got one email that always stands out for people, and people comment on that email because in the middle of my email sequence, I have a congratulations for being you kind of email. And people respond to that, and it's really nice. It means they are opening my emails. And whether or not they're going to buy my course or not, they're opening my emails. And that's really, really nice to see. And it means that in the back of your tracking, in the email tracking, it shows opens, it shows, whether it was opened on desktop or whether it was opened on a phone. It shows all sorts of things in your analytics at the back of your email provider. So we can track on socials. You can see where people have connected, all of the ways. All right, so go and check out and write your observations down. Now, system and team review. So were your system, so your bookings, your emails, your payments, are they smooth and supported? Have you got that all connected and all working? So Tick, 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 tick. Perfect. All good to go. Did you have any tech glitches or admin delays come up? Could you have delegated more to a VA or to another team member or your husband or one of the kids? Could you have handled some of that stuff that you really didn't like doing that caused you frustration? Now we're going to a bit of a positive one. Let's celebrate the wins. Okay. What were you proud of, even if the results weren't huge? So it might be that nobody bought your product. Okay. Not one person bought your product. You put it out there, but you had engagement. That is a win. You had engagement. They didn't buy it, which means you need to rejig it. For next time, you need to have another look at it and you need to contact those people who didn't buy it, but connected with it and figure out why they didn't. But you need to be proud of the fact that you had connection, even if they didn't click the buy button. It's really important to go, hey, look, I had 600 people look at that. I had one person buy it. So that's not a great turnout, but at the same time, it's a great turnout with the 600. So what am I doing wrong to get 20% of the people who look at my product to buy it? That's all we're expecting is 20%. Okay. So what are you proud of, even if the results weren't huge? What did you learn about yourself as a business owner? This is another biggie because lots of things happen to us while we're trying to launch and do these things. We put the brakes on ourselves. Other people put the brakes on us. But you might have made some sort of a comment sitting in front of the telly at night and your partner just turned around and said, well, I don't know why you do it. And you've just thought, yeah, why do I do it? And then you have to mentally shake yourself and go, well, I do it because I get the results that people want and I'm good at what I do. So what did you learn about yourself as a business owner? And what courage or creativity did you show? You managed to use Canva yourself. You managed to do it yourself. You created the content and you made it. Be proud of that. Celebrate the wins. Doesn't matter that if it's your first one and nobody bought, but they followed up or they clicked on it and looked, even if they didn't purchase. These are all wins, okay? You did it. Celebrate the fact that you put yourself out there and that you did it. I mean, I did a podcast before this podcast, which has fallen away like podcasts do, that were on free sites and weren't really proud of. And this one's great. I love this one. And I just had to let that one go. It wasn't right. It wasn't right for me. And this one has evolved. If you've gone back to the beginning, this one has very much evolved and changed over the years. I used to do, because at the time in the group and Confident Practitioner community, I was talking clinically. So then I started talking clinically on the podcast. But then I started thinking, oh, what if I'm saying the wrong thing and it's going to go out of date? Like what I've talked about clinically 3 years ago is probably no longer relevant now, but it's still out there in the world on the podcast. So I've changed. Things change. And that is cool because that's part of the evolution of your business, right? So what will you do differently next time? How will you change it up? What will you change? What will you drop? What will you improve? Perhaps the improvement is simply because right now we already know what Black Friday is next year. And so because you've done all the stuff for this Black Friday, you've already scheduled it for next year to go out or something. I don't know what it is, but you might drop this offering the way you're offering it, reuse all the content, change it, change the name, change some of the wording, and try again next year. You might change it because it's seasonal, so you're saving it now for next year. All right. So what are you going to change, drop, or improve next time? And also what prep and planning will make it easier? What's going to make it easier for you this time than it was last time or at the beginning? What can you change? And who will support you to do it again or do it differently? Or maybe while you were doing it, you thought of something different that you'd prefer to do or that you want to do. So who can support you to do that? All right. So what are your next steps? It's quite exciting when we reflect on things. It can be very challenging to hear and to look at the results and to look at what people have to say and to ask people what they thought and to figure out, why aren't clients coming back? Why aren't people doing what I asked them to do? What is the reflection on that? What can I change? What can I implement? What needs to be different? And what can I celebrate? Because I think we're really hard on ourselves and we do need to celebrate our wins. So thank you so much for being with me all through this year, all through the podcast. I'm looking forward to my guest over the summer, and then we'll be back again one-on-one, you and me, next year. If you'd like me to cover anything at all, just let me know. because I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to sharing Annie's conversations, or my conversations with Annie, with you over the coming month and a half. I'm really looking forward to catching up with you soon. So have a good one and catch you on the next cast. See ya.
Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.